Hello. This week we are looking at Chapter 3, which focuses on composing a design plan. Hopefully, by the end of this lecture, you will have a good understanding of what goes into a design plan because you will be composing one for one of this week's assignments. So, to start, what is a design plan? A design plan is when you pull together your statement of purpose with decisions about strategies, medium, and arrangement. A design plan gives you a concrete and specific guidance for producing your text. So basically, the design plan is something that you create that is going to guide you through the process of completing any type of writing that we do this semester. One of the things, apart from your statement of purpose, which includes your purpose, your audience, and your context, you will also be including strategies in your design plan. A strategy is any part of your communication that you can change. An example of that would be adding statistics or certain facts to help you prove your point. There are a lot of different strategies that you can use, so it's really important to think about your piece of writing and how you want to get your point across. Some tools to help you would be to generate a lot of different possible strategies. So what can you change in your writing to make it more effective and to prove your argument? You will use your statement of purpose to help you decide which strategies are most appropriate for your rhetorical situation. One thing to ask yourself is what will help you better achieve your purpose. For example, if I was writing a persuasive piece persuading a school to adopt school uniforms, one strategy would be to look at facts and statistics of how effective those schools would be and include that in there. Another strategy that you can possibly use is logos, ethos, and pathos. So you can use each one of these things separately, and I'll go through what each one of them is in more detail. But logos, ethos, and pathos is an example of a strategy that you can use. Traditional rhetorical concepts that allow us to categorize strategies. So if you choose to use logos, you're thinking about how the persuasion happens through a text structure and logic. So again, going back to possibly using facts and statistics to help persuade your audience. Ethos is how persuasion happens through how the audience comes to think or believe about a composer. So that focuses on more how the audience is going to identify and connect with you as the writer. And then lastly, pathos is how texts are shaped to engage with the non-rational aspects of humans. And we'll go through each one of these. So first, you could use logos as a strategy. Again, using facts and statistics to establish yourself as credible. This also focuses on the structure and arrangements you choose as you build an argument. So thinking like, do you want to use cause and effect? Do you want to include a timeline of events? So how are you going to structure your argument so that it appeals to your audience? So this is one strategy that you can use. You can also use ethos. And again, ethos is how you build connection with your audience. Think of things like your use of tone or the vocabulary that you're using in your writing. Or if you want to start with a story so that the audience connects with you more. Writers can structure ethos to give them authority to make claims. For example, if I was writing an essay about college and my audience was future teachers, I would make sure that in my writing I included the fact that I am also a teacher. This is going to help the audience connect with me, and they're also going to identify with me because that is something that they're going into. So thinking about how you can build that connection. So ethos is another strategy you could possibly use. Next is pathos. So, pathos is using emotion to shape an audience's response. What you write should evoke certain feelings in others. So, if you were writing a persuasive piece focusing on the importance of not drinking and driving, perhaps you include a story about a time that this happened to appeal to the audience's emotions and get them more invested in the topic. So, that is kind of what pathos is hitting at. So, again, pathos, ethos, logos are all examples of strategies that you can use to help prove your argument. You can use all three. You could pick one that you want to focus on to really drive your point home, but those are definite examples. Another thing that you will include in your design plan is the medium. So this is what is your communication made of? Most likely in academic settings, you are going to complete your work on white paper with 1-inch margins. But in other situations, you are able to use a more creative medium that could be more effective. For example, maybe you are, again, doing a persuasive piece on the importance of not drinking and driving, and instead of actually writing a paper, you want to create a poster that might be more effective for your audience, or you want to create a YouTube video or a brochure or a pamphlet. That is what we're talking about when we're speaking about medium. Some things to do: brainstorm different media you can use, imagine each medium or media in use by your audience, and then think practically. Think about how your audience is going to respond to the medium. Here's some more with medium. Think about, is it appropriate to use a medium or media which your audience is familiar or that is expected in the context? So in an academic setting, it's expected that you would probably turn in a paper, but maybe you don't want to do that. Maybe you want to use something different with your audience. And for this class, you can explore with different types of mediums as long as you fulfill the requirements of the assignment. Something else to think about with medium. Is it appropriate to use a medium or media with which your audience is unfamiliar? So if you are presenting something to an audience of teenagers, maybe you're going to choose to deliver your message using TikTok. But if you also chose to use TikTok with an audience of people who are 80 years and older, that might not be the best choice because that's something that they're unfamiliar with. So think about what your audience is gonna relate to. So that kind of ties into the next one. What kind of relationship do you want to establish with your audience through your medium? For academic purposes, using like a TikTok video to prove a point, that might not be the most effective. That might not be the relationship you want to establish with your audience. So that is something to keep in mind. And then lastly, when it comes to medium, can you responsibly make an effective production with the medium that you're choosing? So if you're assigned a research project, probably choosing to present it in the form of a TikTok video would not be most effective. The most effective thing in that instance would probably be to do a paper or some other presentation to get all the information across. Moving on, another important aspect of your design plan is arrangement. So how will you order and shape your arguments? Some things to help here: list the parts of your communication, brainstorm different possibilities, and ask which possibilities best support your purpose and overall strategies. So for the open letter, thinking about, how are you going to structure that? Which parts are you going to include first? And for every assignment after that, also thinking about how you're going to arrange and shape your audience so that they're most effective. You also want to think about testing, and this is something that will also be in your design plan. This kind of focuses on like peer review and editing. So one of the benefits of testing is it helps you determine the success of your communication. It also helps you know if you achieve what you set out in your design plan. Some ways that you can test: gather together people from your intended audience to go over your statement of purpose and give you feedback. So, this is something that would happen before you even start writing. Get the audience feedback, get audience feedback to your design plan. Again, something that happens before you start writing. And then, lastly, as you draft your project, get feedback. And that will come in the form of peer review and review from myself as the instructor. But think about other ways that you can get feedback on your writing besides your peers and besides me. Maybe you want to have a parent read it, or your best friend, or your grandma or grandpa. It's totally up to you. The more testing you can do, the better, because that's just going to improve your piece of writing. When we put all of that together, we come up with a design plan. So, a design plan includes the following elements: your statement of purpose, which includes your purpose, audience, and context, a description of your overall strategies, your choice of medium or media, your ideas about arrangement, a description of how you'll produce the communication, and your plan for testing the communication. You will complete a design plan for every writing assignment that every big writing assignment that we do in this class, and hopefully this will be something that will transfer over to your other classes as you start writing and composing things for those courses as well.